Welcome to the Thought Leaders video blog, where industry executives share their insights and vision in today's landscape of live entertainment.
Keith White, CTO of Paciolan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Craig. It's great to be here.
So Keith, coming out of PacNet, which now seems like an absolute lifetime ago, how are the primary pillars of your product strategy unfolding?
Yeah, well, it does seem like eons ago, and maybe even a different era that we were up there at PacNet. But I think it's a testament on we've really moved to a sound product strategy going forward. And so the three pillars that we kind of laid out at PacNet those are the same three pillars we've been continuing to work on and advance on our product. So if I talk about the single platform and the importance of a single platform, which allows us to focus our innovation, in one area and continue to innovate and develop and roll features out. That's super important. I'm happy to say we have over 180 clients on the platform now. We're continuing to build it out, add some features, and get the rest of the clients on, something we hope to have wrapped up sometime in 2021 if all things go well. So that's exciting. And the other thing from a product strategy is that platform really is becoming an account-centric platform. So really making it easier to search for patrons and find them, working through that patron to look at their orders and actually manage their orders right from that platform instead of bouncing around to different tabs or different products. Mm-hmm. And then in the case of the donors, being able to get to the donor information right there, easy at your fingertips. So those are all the things we're kind of doing in the platform space, and we'll continue to innovate and iterate there. The other main pillar is mobile. I don't think it's any surprise.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk now, especially given COVID, how important mobile is really becoming. And so we spent a lot of time over the last year building contactless ticketing, really getting our My Account 2.0 up and running, mobile friendly. And it was a great thing that we did that, because going forward, right, never a better time for that. We had maybe one client go 100% mobile last season. It looks to be close to 50 clients this season. So all of that work pays off. And I think going forward, you're going to see us put a little more emphasis around the purchase flow. So we're going to carry forward a lot of the design concepts we've done in our SDK that we have integrated with a sidearm app, and probably nearing close to 20 clients on the radar for that. We're going to start to bring those true mobile design components and capabilities and frictionless purchase and single sign-ons and native pay. The native browsers have really changed going forward. So the experience, even in a mobile responsive web on your phone is great. So we'll continue to pour into mobile. No surprises there. And then third is data. So I'm probably the most excited about this one. Data is key. Everything's built on data. You want to drive your decision making off data. The clients want to get at their data to answer business questions. And we've been spending a lot of time and effort on the infrastructure, the pieces underneath that nobody sees except us. But really a sound cloud-based data lake, data warehouse that we can then put data visualizations over the top and really glean data insights. So you're going to see us launch these data insights towards the end of this year in the fundraising space and the ticketing space. And probably the most exciting thing is we've brought some clients in for some early previews. We've actually put it in their hands to see, hey, are we solving your pain points? And resoundingly, we're hearing what generally could take them near a day to collect data out of our system and throw it in Excel and pivot it this way and that way and merge. That goes away because we're answering the business questions up front and then providing a drill down capability going forward. So really exciting stuff on our data front, and really excited we're actually going to see the manifestation of that towards the end of this year and into 2021.
That's awesome. Great stuff, Keith. So you talked a little bit about mobile and how that's affecting and impacting our community during COVID. Are there other things that we're working on from a platform perspective that will help our clients address the current conditions with COVID?
Yeah, absolutely. So, mobile, we are also spending a lot of time, as I talked about, the scale of mobile and how much prevalent it's going to be. And so really making sure that delivering tickets quickly, effectively, and at scale is going to be there and sound and rock solid. So we've been doing that. But we've also done a few other things. So if you talk about a concept of virtual queuing, Or, hey, how do I handle all my fans showing up at my gates at the same time, right? I want to spread that out. How do I communicate that out? So we've got some concepts building on top of our connected pass technology where we can allocate time slots across the tickets that have been sold for the clients, and they can kind of decide how they want to allocate those time slots and how far in advance of, game time. And then we can message and push that to the actual digital ticket on the actual phone device that the fan has, as well as pop up a notification banner on their phone as their time is starting to approach. So we're working on that right now, and I think that's going to be super helpful for a number of our clients. And then just in general, nobody knows, right? And so we're finding ourselves in a situation where we might have to bulk cancel events. We might have to bulk change or reschedule them. We might have to, roll over, season ticket renewals to next season, things like that, which, traditionally we could do one at a time. There weren't that many. Our system wasn't built to do that in bulk. So we've done a lot of utilities, and we're releasing a lot of things in that area so that it's going to be easier for the clients to do things in bulk if and when change occurs.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a lot of uncertainty. So do you think, and I always liken this to, after 9/11, there was some transformative changes to travel, which still persists today. Do you think there's going to be any fundamental shifts to live entertainment out of the pandemic that we'll see in the future going forward?
I think twofold. I think the pandemic has driven the population to mobile.
Yep.
And so I think you're seeing we could talk about, contactless payment as an example. I know there's a lot of venues that are rolling that out throughout their venue, right? So I think the in-venue experiences are going to be different, whether that's ordering food and kind of going the pickup model. They may find that's actually super efficient and fans actually like it. They might not have to stand in line so long, right? And then just payment, I think in general, nobody wants to touch anything. And so it's another training of our population to tap for your payment, go to a contactless, cashless payment. So I think we're going to see those trends continue even out. You might even take the virtual queuing, might even turn it into a nice option for the fans, right? Can I tailgate a little bit longer knowing that I'm not going to have 6,000 people at the gate when I get there, right? Because I have my own time to get in. So I think there's a lot of adaptation. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, for sure. So Keith, coming into Paciolan, you've definitely been a big change agent for us and driving us towards becoming a world-class, product technology organization. So what are you most proud of to date, and what's next?
That's tough to quantify. It's been a busy 3 years, really good 3 years so far. I would say if I had to coin it together, it would be real transformation. So we've shifted everything from our culture and values in an engineering organization and how we want to build software to actually how we actually work and how we're aligning our engineers to the business so that they understand and feel the empathy of our clients, and which then allows them to make the right decisions in product on how they build features to actually help the clients. And that's been a fundamental shift at Pack. And I would say, coupled with that is the culture, the way we work, the way we think, but also speed to market. I think fundamentally that's probably the single biggest impact we've had is what we used to do and what we do today. And not just on our new shiny stuff, but even in our legacy systems, we're able to get deployments down, and we have a goal to shrink that another 2x. So being able to get to market and iterate and get product out faster is fundamentally far different than where it was. So that's probably my biggest thing I'm proud of. And then just the tech innovations, right? Whether it's the contactless ticketing with the NFC we brought to play, we actually spun that around in pretty short order, especially relative to competitors and how long it took them to get to market. And then the data play. And again, I talked on that earlier, but I'm really excited about what's coming there. I think next up, we're at the flux where we've become a true technology company. Yep, and we now have strategy around our products. It's just not, a lot of functionality. It's actually strategically, as thought leaders in a software product company for our space, what do we want it to do and how do we want it to work and where does it go? So I think you're going to see us pour a lot more into the technology. We've done a lot of change on culture, people, process, how we work, get to market. Now I think we're really going to pour into the technology, and the cloud enables us to do that.
That's awesome. Having been at Paciolan for 17 years, I definitely feel the change. So thank you. So, you talked about, technology and moving quickly. So how do you capture the voice of the client, and how do you put that voice into the product?
Great questions. And that's also another huge change is aligning our product to the voice of our client and the empathy of our client, as I mentioned before. We started to get involved at the advisory committee level, which product had never really been involved previous. So that's been great, but that's at a strategic level. And so at PacNet, we announced the launching of our Pac Pioneers program, which similar model. It's a dozen or so of selected clients that want to offer their time and suggestions to help our product be better. So we thought we would be doing some in-person workshops, and they've turned 100% virtual this year, but good for us. We're experts at Zoom, and we have some other good collaboration tools. But we've effectively had sessions where they've been almost a product manager for a day. So we've walked through prototypes and gotten early feedback on, does this solve your need? How should it work? What's better? We've let them in on early release software that's about to launch to get some final feedback. And then we've just talked in general, hey, we could do 6 different things to make it easier to find your patrons and orders. What's important to you? And we listen to that feedback, and it's helped us kind of prioritize what we work on, and it's helped us tweak our designs. So we welcome that. We have also, as I mentioned in the data space, we're actively reaching out to clients, working through our client partners. If we need feedback, is this going to answer your data questions? What are you trying to answer every day? And so we're really leaning in and listening, which is fundamentally it's a great thing, and it's a big change for us.
Awesome, I love it. So obviously you've got a effort on innovation, and you're always looking to innovate. So what's your philosophy, Keith, on innovation, and how are you going to innovate going forward?
Yeah, and back to the Eon PacNet, which is only 5 months ago. It was the theme. The theme was driving innovation, which was so timely. Yes. And we also reinforced at PacNet that we're a technology company, and the two kind of go hand in hand. But I would say innovation is not just tech too. It's innovating in how we work. It's innovating in how we launch product. It's innovating in how we communicate the product out. But if you talk about innovation at its core, I think number one, you start with the people. And so my view of innovation is we have to get to a place where our ideas can come from anyone, from anywhere in the organization. And so we do that by working in small teams, and by empowering those teams, and by aligning those teams to the business. So the ideas and the decision making can be down at the team level, and that's where innovation starts to spawn. I think the second big key to innovation is speed of iteration. So it used to be get to market first. That doesn't necessarily matter anymore. I mean, we'll go to market first in some areas, but we may not be the first one there. But once we get there, can we iterate faster than any of our competitors? Can we continue to use data to adjust, and use client feedback and customer feedback and fan feedback from social media to kind of refine that and move quickly? And that's where I think the innovation comes from. The ideas and the ability to test and experiment with an idea without a 6-month investment. And so that's what you'll see more and more of. I think internally, I challenge the teams with 3 things. One is think big, think 10x. We kind of borrowed that from Google. And when you start to think big, ideas you may never have brought to surface emerge. And you find a way to actually go 10x, or even if you get 7x, it's a lot better than incremental. So that's one thing. The other is disrupt, so not just disrupt our competition, but disrupt ourselves internally. So we do a lot of things in our practice of retrospectives, and how can we get better, and what's working, and where do we push on the gas, and where do we maybe back off and figure those kinds of things out. And then the other big thing is R&D. Paciolan traditionally did not invest a lot from an R&D perspective. and we're still from a software company's perspective, still not investing a lot, but we're starting to think that way. And as I mentioned before, we're starting to do some experiments. We're starting to prototype and put it in front of clients. And some of those things will never see the light of day. But some of those things will resound and resonate and will become product and innovation in and of its own right.
Fantastic. I love it. And so we talked a lot about work, a lot about PAC. So Keith, what are you personally really excited about for this year amongst the pandemic?
Well, this year amongst, or when this thing is finally behind us in some form or fashion.
The latter. That'll be more exciting.
Look, there and a lot of people have said this. There really is no substitute for live entertainment. Whether it's a concert or a game, you can watch it, you can stream it, but when you're there, just the energy and the interaction of people, whether your friends or just even the people you meet that are sitting right next to you, you can't replace that, right? And so when you don't have it, you kind of miss it. And so I actually think there's going to be a huge pent-up demand. I'm actually interested if we see the attendance trends reverse, instead of declining, maybe they go up once we can get back to a full capacity scenario, because I think there's just pent-up demand and everyone's going to want to get out there. So I'm looking forward to that. And not just live, I'm actually looking forward to just going out and eating dinner with like more than the people that live in my household and just having some good conversation. But I think the other thing that I hope happens is that we pull forward some of the good. Even the recognition for like the first responders and the healthcare providers, and that's been there here and there, right? But the teachers, right, probably so underappreciated until
my wife
homeschooling your own kids, right?
That.
So I hope that appreciation and thought continues as we go on. And then for me personally, there is a little bit more time on your hands when you're remote, right? There's a little bit more time for reflection and there's a lot more family. We're all on top of each other, right, in the house. And so I think the balance, the little pause of not running on the hamster wheel and actually getting that balance is something I hope I continue to pull forward, even when we're back and things are crazy and there's a big frenzy again. I hope that balance is something we can all keep, because I think it's valuable.
You and I both. Keith White, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you for joining the Thought Leaders video blog. And remember, everyone can step up and be a leader in their own way. We look forward to seeing you next time.